August baseball is heating up and matchups promise everything from explosive offense to gritty pitching duels that could define playoff pushes and betting slips alike. We're diving into 5 high-stakes games that have layers of value, starting with a Marlins vs. Astros showdown in Houston where pitching depth meets a power surge, all the way to a Nationals vs. Athletics game featuring 2 teams with nothing to lose and prop value written all over it. Whether it's the Al Central clash between the Tigers and Twins, the cross-coast test of the Pirates visiting San Francisco, or the heavyweight East showdown between the Phillies and Orioles, these games are packed with angles, stats, and prop bombs ready to cash. If you're building SGPs or just need sharp picks for the moneyline, this is the video you can't afford to miss. The Houston Astros will square off with the Miami Marlins at Loandapot Park on Tuesday, August 5, 2025, in what might feel like a mismatch on paper but holds significant betting value if you look close enough. The Astros come into this game as road favorites, boasting a 61-49 record and sitting just 2 games back in the AL West. Meanwhile, the Marlins have struggled all season long, currently buried in the NL East cellar at 43-68 and limping into August with a decimated rotation and one of the least productive offenses in the National League. But sometimes matchups like these offer the most overlooked opportunities, especially when markets overreact to win-loss records alone. Starting for the Astros is left-hander Framber Valdez, who has returned to elite form in recent outings. He's 9-6 on the year with a 3.42 ERA and a 1.14 WHIP, and his strikeout rate has jumped to 26.1% since the All-Star break. Valdez thrives on inducing weak contact, ranking in the 90th percentile in ground ball rate, and he gets a favorable matchup against a Marlins team that ranks 28th in hard hit rate and 27th in slugging percentage versus left-handed pitching. He's coming off a dominant 7-inning, 1-run outing against the Angels where he struck out 9 and walked just 1. The key to Valdez's success is his sinker-curveball combo, and against a Miami lineup that chases more than league average and doesn't barrel the ball often, he could cruise through 6 or 7 frames with ease. Miami counters with right-hander Max Meyer, who was once a top prospect but is still finding his footing after recovering from Tommy John surgery. He's 2-3 with a 5.14 ERA and a 1.47 WHIP across 35 innings this season. The concerning part isn't just the surface stats but the lack of swing and miss in his arsenal. He's striking out only 17.3% of batters faced and has allowed 8 home runs in his last 6 starts. Against a power-heavy Astros lineup that features 6 batters with double-digit home runs, Meyer is at risk of getting tagged early. His fastball velocity has dropped nearly a full tick since his debut in April, and opponents are slugging .542 off his 4-seamer. With Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, and Alex Bregman all swinging hot bats lately, this could be the type of matchup where Houston jumps ahead early and never looks back. In terms of bullpen depth, the Astros hold a distinct edge. Houston's bullpen ranks 5th in MLB in ERA, 3.41, and 1st in WHIP, 1.08, since the start of July, led by Ryan Presley, Brian Abreu, and a rejuvenated Josh Hader who has 11 straight scoreless appearances. The Marlins bullpen, on the other hand, ranks 27th in ERA, 5.12, and has blown 8 saves in their last 21 opportunities. Miami's middle relief is particularly vulnerable, with 4 different relievers posting ERAs over 5.00 since June 1. That means even if Meyer holds things together for 4 to 5 innings, the back end of the game could unravel quickly. Offensively, the Astros continue to rake. Since July 1, they're averaging 5.7 runs per game and rank 2nd in the league in ops .832. Alvarez is hitting .341 with 6 home runs and 18 RBIs in his last 20 games, while Jose Altuve and Jeremy Pena have each posted an OBP over .370 in the same stretch. Meanwhile, the Marlins are averaging just 3.1 runs per game over their last 30 contests and haven't scored more than 4 runs in a game since July 26. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is slumping badly, going 4 for 29 in his last 8 games, and the only bright spot recently has been Brian De La Cruz, who's hit safely in 6 straight but doesn't provide the kind of game-changing power to offset the rest of the team's struggles. From a betting perspective, the Astros opened as -175 favorites on the money line and have already steamed up to around -190 on most books. That price still has value in parlays but may be a little steep for a straight bet. The run line at -1.5 +100 to +105 offers better return, especially considering Houston has covered the spread in 11 of its last 15 wins. The over-under is set at 8.5, and while the Marlins may struggle to contribute runs, the Astros could push the over themselves if they get into the Miami bullpen early. A team total bet on Houston over 4.5 runs at -115 might be the best value on the board. Given the matchup disparity in both starting pitching and offensive firepower, that number looks very attainable. Let's talk props. Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 total bases at +110 is a strong look. He has a .618 slugging percentage against right-handers and has gone over that number in 7 of his last 9 games. Kyle Tucker anytime home run at +360 is also worth a sprinkle, especially considering Max Meyer's tendency to give up fly balls to left-handed hitters. For pitcher props, Valdez over 6.5 strikeouts at -130 is fair value given the Marlins' swing-happy profile and his recent surge in K rate. Another valuable angle is Valdez to record a win, which should be available around +125. Assuming he pitches into the 6th and Houston holds the lead, that's a good plus money stab. If you're building a same-game parlay, here's a solid 3-leg base. Astros moneyline, Yordan Alvarez to record a hit, and Framber Valdez 5+ strikeouts. That should give you +170 to +190 odds depending on your book. For a more aggressive SGP play, consider Astros -1.5 run line, Alvarez 2+ total bases, and Tucker 1+ RBI. This combo can reach the +450 to +600 range and offers a high ceiling in a game where Houston could dominate from the first pitch. The final score prediction leans heavily in favor of the Astros. I'm projecting Houston 6, Miami 2. Framber Valdez should control the game from the mound, and the Astros lineup should be able to do significant damage early against Meyer and then tack on insurance runs against a shaky bullpen. While nothing is ever a lock, the numbers, recent form, and matchup dynamics all tilt toward Houston in every phase. Look to capitalize on Astros team totals, overs in prop markets, and SGPs centered around their core hitters and Valdez's performance. The August 4th matchup between the Minnesota Twins and Detroit Tigers sets the stage for a battle between a club clinging to postseason hopes and another mired in inconsistency. The Twins enter this road contest aiming to bounce back from a rocky stretch, while the Tigers look to capitalize on their recent uptick in offensive production. This is the second game of their weekend series, and there's a lot at stake, especially for Minnesota, who are deep in the wild card hunt. The pitching matchup features Bailey Ober for the Twins facing off against Detroit's Reese Olson. Ober has had flashes of dominance this season but has also shown vulnerability against teams that can work counts and generate contact. Olson, meanwhile, continues to showcase potential, despite struggling with run support and occasional command lapses. The lines are tight for this game, making it a sharp betting spot for value hunters. Bailey Ober comes into this game with a 9-5 record and a 3.67 ERA over 21 starts, but his recent form has been shaky. Over his last 5 starts, Ober has posted a 5.01 ERA and has surrendered 7 home runs. His primary strength remains his ability to avoid walks, just 22 free passes over 115 innings, but when he misses his spots up in the zone, he becomes highly hittable. Detroit has fared better against righties of late, slashing .247, .312, .403 as a team over their last 10 games versus RHP, with Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter anchoring the middle of the order. Ober's strikeout prop is listed at 5.5 -110, and while he's hit that mark in 3 of his last 5 outings, Detroit's current approach at the plate suggests they may keep the ball in play and force him into long innings. A better angle may be his over 1.5 walks allowed prop, plus 115, given Detroit's recent discipline at the plate and Ober's increased pitch counts. Reese Olson, on the other hand, holds a 4-9 record with a 4.48 ERA and a 1.26 WHIP. However, he has been more effective than those numbers indicate. In July, he posted a 3.61 ERA over 5 starts and limited opponents to a .236 batting average. Olson's biggest issue continues to be giving up big innings. He often cruises through the lineup once before unraveling in the 4th or 5th. Against the Twins, who are known to pounce late in games, that's a dangerous trend. Minnesota ranks 7th in ops during the 7th inning or later this season, and their run line value as a second-half team remains strong. Olson's strikeout prop is set at 4.5 minus 125, and while that's a tempting overplay given Minnesota's swing and miss tendencies, it's worth noting the Twins have dropped their strikeout rate to 22.7% over the last 14 games. A safer prop might be Olson over 2.5 earned runs, minus 135, as Minnesota has scored 4 or more runs in 9 of their last 13 games. Minnesota's offense will likely be keyed by Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton. Correa has a .310 batting average over the last 2 weeks and has been particularly effective against sinker ball pitchers, which is part of Olson's arsenal. Buxton, while inconsistent, has a pair of home runs in his last 5 games and might be a solid home run prop at plus 500. Royce Lewis, the X factor in this lineup, returned from injury and has gone 7 for 18 since rejoining the roster. His total bases prop over 1.5 sits at plus 130, offering excellent value against a pitcher like Olson who doesn't miss bats frequently. Detroit's offensive value lies in the hands of Riley Green and Colt Keith. Green has an OBP over .400 in the last 10 games and matches up well against Ober's four-seam heavy approach. Keith, meanwhile, has quietly compiled a .289 average against right-handed pitching with 18 RBIs since June. Green's total bases prop over 1.5 at plus 140 is worth a play, and if you're looking for a dart home run pick, Spencer Torkelson at plus 550 fits the mold given Ober's recent home run troubles. Defensively, both teams are middle of the pack. Minnesota ranks 14th in defensive runs saved and has a solid outfield core, but their infield range has been suspect. Detroit, meanwhile, is 20th in team fielding percentage, and they've committed 8 errors in their last 12 games. This could lead to extra base runners and elevated scoring potential. From a betting standpoint, the Twins enter as 130 moneyline favorites, while the Tigers are priced at plus 110. The total is set at 8.5, with slight juice to the over, minus 115. Given both pitchers' recent issues and each team's offensive push, the over is appealing here. Minnesota's team total over 4.5 plus 105 is another strong play, particularly if they can wear Olson down early. A run line play on the Twins minus 1.5 plus 145 has value if you believe in a bullpen breakdown from Detroit, as their relievers have posted a 4.98 ERA in late innings since July 1st. For an SGP, same-game parlay, a tight and value-heavy build might look like this. Twins moneyline, Carlos Correa over 1.5 total bases. Reese Olson over 2.5 earned runs. Riley Green to record a hit. This 4-leg SGP pays around plus 625 on most sportsbooks and aligns with the statistical edges for both lineups. If you're looking to ladder or parlay further with riskier legs, consider Byron Buxton to hit a home run, plus 500. Over 8.5 total runs. Royce Lewis to record 2+ RB is plus 400. As for final score prediction, we expect a competitive yet offense-tilted game. With the Twins bringing more late-inning firepower and slightly better bullpen depth, Minnesota should edge out a win in a 6-4 or 7-5 type game. Take the over, lean Twins on the ML or team total over 4.5, and mix in prop values like Correa bases and Olson earned runs to maximize your Saturday betting card. Game 3 of the August 4th MLB slate features the Miami Marlins taking on the Houston Astros in what looks like a significant mismatch on paper, but one that could offer sneaky betting value with the right angle. The Astros are pushing to solidify their postseason position while the Marlins continue to tumble deeper into rebuilding mode. Miami enters this game with one of the weakest records in the National League, sitting at 43-69, while Houston is fighting for control in a tight AL West race, coming in at 58-54 and within striking distance of both the division and wildcard leaders. What makes this game interesting isn't just the team disparity, but the matchup on the mound and how both teams' recent form shapes up. For the Astros, Hunter Brown will take the mound, a right-hander who has shown flashes of brilliance this season but has also struggled with consistency. Brown comes into this one with a 6-8 record and a 4.74 ERA over 101.2 innings. However, he has been better at home, where his ERA dips below 4.00, and he tends to generate high strikeout totals. Over his last 3 starts, he's thrown 17 innings, allowing just 5 earned runs while striking out 19, showing more command and fewer walks than his early season performances. He'll face a Marlins team that has been among the league's worst against right-handed pitching, sporting a .229 team batting average and a dismal .290 OBP against righties. The Marlins are also near the bottom of the league in runs scored per game, averaging just 3.5, and have been shut out multiple times over the last 2 weeks. On the Marlins side, lefty Trevor Rogers is expected to start. He has returned to the rotation after a lengthy injury absence, and while his ceiling is high, he was an all-star in 2021, he hasn't returned to that form. Rogers enters this game with a 1-8 record and a 4.95 ERA, with a concerning 1.48 WHIP. His strikeout rate has dropped to under 8 per 9 innings, and command has been a major issue. He's been particularly vulnerable against right-handed power hitters, allowing a .276 opponent batting average and giving up 11 of his 13 home runs to righties. That's bad news when you're facing a lineup that includes Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and Kyle Tucker. Houston's offense continues to be explosive, ranking 4th in MLB in runs scored since the All-Star break. They're hitting .268 as a team in that span with a slugging percentage above .450. In terms of player props, Jose Altuve looks like a great candidate for total bases and hits. He's riding a 7-game hitting streak and is batting .322 with 6 home runs against left-handers this season. A 2+ total bases prop for Altuve at around +110 is a strong bet. Yordan Alvarez also brings value in the home run market at +350, especially given Rogers' struggles with power lefties and Alvarez's .310 average with 18 home runs against southpaws in the last 2 years. For the Marlins, Jazz Chisholm is the only real power speed threat in the lineup. If you're looking for a long shot RBI or stolen base prop, he could be the guy, but don't overinvest. Chisholm has hit .265 over his last 10 games with a pair of home runs and 2 steals, so a combo prop like hit plus stolen base might offer +400 or better. On the strikeout front, Hunter Brown over 5.5 kiloseconds is definitely in play. The Marlins strike out over 9 times per game on the road, and Brown has hit this mark in 6 of his last 9 starts. You can find that prop at about -110 and pair it with Astros ML for a decent 2-leg parlay at around +160. Another good SGP, same-game parlay, angle could be Astros -1.5 run line, Yordan Alvarez to record a hit, and Brown 5+ strikeouts. That combination should sit around +300 depending on your sportsbook, and it hits on all the key advantages in this matchup. When it comes to the full game betting outlook, the Astros are heavy favorites on the moneyline, typically around -200 or more. While that price is too steep for straight bets, the run line at -1.5 is more attractive. Houston has covered the run line in 6 of their last 9 home games and 8 of their last 10 wins have been by 2 runs or more. Meanwhile, the Marlins have lost 12 of their last 15 games by multiple runs. The total is likely set around 8.5 or 9, which makes the over a little dicey unless Houston explodes. Given that the Marlins might only scratch out 2 or 3 runs max, a 6-3 or 5-2 scoreline is very possible. Team total props offer another way to back Houston's offense without risking a full game total. Astros over 4.5 team total is priced around -120 and feels like a solid bet against a struggling Rogers and a poor Marlins bullpen that ranks 28th in ERA. Miami's relief corps has allowed a .271 batting average since July 1, and they've blown 7 saves in that span. If Houston doesn't get it done early, they can certainly tack on late runs. Final score prediction: Astros 6, Marlins 2. Houston's depth, power, and pitching advantage are too much for a Miami squad that's outgunned on every level. Hunter Brown should be able to keep the Marlins in check, and the Astros bats should provide the cushion needed to cash multiple angles, including the run line, team total, and a few SGP combos focused on strikeouts and base hits. There's also solid opportunity in parlaying Astros ML with another moneyline favorite for boosted value or with a few NRFI/YRFI plays around the league to build out a profitable bet stack. The Saturday matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards might not only be one of the best games of the day, but a postseason level preview if both squads keep up their strong form. The Phillies are a powerhouse in the National League, entering this game with a 67-42 record, while the Orioles have maintained their dominance in the AL East, currently at 65-44. This interleague clash is loaded with talent, and the betting angles are as sharp as ever, particularly with the pitching duel and offensive metrics we're about to break down. Scheduled to start for Philadelphia is Christopher Sanchez, the left-handed control artist who continues to quietly dominate. Through 19 starts, Sanchez boasts a 6-4 record with a crisp 2.88 ERA, 1.12 WHIP, and just 15 walks in 103 innings pitched. He's been particularly effective away from Citizens Bank Park, sporting a road ERA of 2.49 and a batting average against a .212. His sinker changeup combo has made him a ground ball machine, and against a team like Baltimore that thrives off slugging, this becomes a pivotal edge. On the other side, Baltimore counters with Grayson Rodriguez, who has shown flashes of brilliance and equally worrying inconsistency. Rodriguez enters the game with a 4.08 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, and 112 strikeouts over 106 innings. His last outing was impressive, 7 innings of 1-run ball against the Yankees, but prior to that he gave up 9 runs in his last 2 combined starts. When he's locating his high-velocity fastball and mixing in his curveball and slider effectively, he can be dominant, but control is key, especially against a Phillies lineup that punishes mistakes. Offensively, the Phillies continue to be carried by a balanced top half. Kyle Schwarber is heating up again, leading the team in home runs 29 and RBIs 71, while Bryce Harper remains the consistent heartbeat of the lineup with a .303 average and .926 ops. Add in Alec Boehm, who's hitting .295 and has 72 RBIs, and you have a team that's built to manufacture runs and go deep. One prop we're circling is Boehm to record 2+ total bases +115, as he's hit safely in 12 of his last 15 games and matches up well against Rodriguez's fastball-heavy approach. Harper to record an RBI +130 is another strong pick given his recent production and how well he's hitting off right-handers this season .320, .420, .561. On the Orioles side, Gunnar Henderson remains their MVP candidate, now sitting on 30 home runs with a .936 ops. His bat has been scorching, and despite the tough matchup, he is always a threat to go deep. The prop line on Henderson to hit a home run is currently +375, which offers sneaky value given Sanchez's occasional issue with elevated fastballs to lefty power hitters. Adley Rutschman has quietly posted a .284 batting average and has an on-base percentage over .370, making him a strong consideration for the 1+ hit and 1+ walk combo prop +200. Another angle to consider is Anthony Santander's home-road splits. While he's stronger on the road, he has still hit 17 of his 22 home runs at Camden Yards, and his odds to go over 1.5 total bases sit at +140, which is attractive given how aggressive he's been on first pitch swings recently. Looking at team stats and momentum, Philadelphia has won 6 of their last 8 road games, and in that span, they've averaged 5.1 runs per game. Their bullpen remains elite, boasting a collective 3.15 ERA, third best in baseball. Baltimore's pen has struggled a bit post-All-Star break, with their setup options allowing inherited runners to score at a high clip, and closer Craig Kimbrell hasn't been as dominant recently. This could matter in a game expected to be tight late. On the betting front, the opening lines list the Phillies as slight road favorites at -118, with the Orioles at -102, and the over-under set at 8.5 runs. Given the current form of Sanchez and the Orioles' relative struggles against top-tier lefties, ranking 19th in OPS versus LHP, backing Philadelphia on the moneyline at -118 feels justified. However, the run line at -1.5 plus 140 carries risk due to how competitive Baltimore is at home, 33-21 record, so a better angle might be Phillies ML combined with under 9.5 runs in a same-game parlay plus 200. The public is leaning toward the over due to both teams' offensive reputations, but the pitching matchup and bullpen strength suggest otherwise. For an alternate play, consider the Phillies to score first and win plus 165, as they've done so in 9 of Sanchez's last 11 starts. If you're looking to build a more aggressive SGP, one strong leg set is Phillies ML, Alec Bohm 2 plus total bases, Harper 1 plus RBI, and under 9.5 total runs, which comes in around plus 675 depending on the book. Final score prediction leans Philadelphia 5, Baltimore 3. Expect a well-pitched game with clutch hitting late. The Phillies' ability to grind at bats, draw walks, and capitalize on shaky middle relief should push them over the edge. Back the value on Harper and Bohm props. Stay away from Rodriguez strikeout totals, as Philly doesn't whiff much, and look for some value in SGP builds built around Philly's moneyline, key total base props, and the under. This game is a great one to anchor late afternoon DFS lineups and betting tickets with multiple strong angles available. The Boston Red Sox head into Kauffman Stadium on August 4th with an opportunity to build some momentum against a Kansas City Royals squad that has been teetering on inconsistency for the better part of July. Boston enters this matchup with a 58-53 record and still very much alive in the AL wildcard picture, while Kansas City sits at 51-59 and is watching its postseason hopes slip further away with each passing week. The Red Sox have had some strong road performances of late, taking 7 of their last 10 games away from Fenway. Kansas City, on the other hand, has dropped 6 of their last 9 overall and just lost a tough home series to the Rays. This is a critical game for both squads but for very different reasons. Boston wants to close the gap on Tampa and Houston, while Kansas City is playing more for pride and young player development. That can make for dangerous betting spots, but this matchup offers a ton of exploitable angles for totals, props, and alt-line value. Starting for the Red Sox will be Cutter Crawford, who comes into the game with a 6-7 record, a 3.86 ERA, and a whip of 1.17 over 21 starts this season. He's struck out 119 batters over 116.2 innings and has held opposing hitters to a .229 batting average. Crawford's recent form has been solid. In his last 3 starts, he's pitched a combined 18 innings with just 4 earned runs and 18 strikeouts. His fastball-cutter combination is especially effective against right-handers, which should help neutralize key Royals bats like Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez. The Royals counter with right-hander Alec Marsh, who has had a volatile sophomore campaign. Marsh is 5-9 with a 5.12 ERA and 1.44 WHIP, allowing 18 homers in 94 innings. He struggles with command and frequently gets into trouble late in counts. Opponents are slugging .461 against him when ahead in the count, and his xFIP of 4.96 suggests things haven't been unlucky. He's simply not been effective. In July alone, Marsh gave up 15 earned runs in just 19.2 innings across 4 starts, with an ERA north of 6.50 and a WHIP nearing 1.60. Offensively, the Red Sox are surging again. Jarren Duran is batting .315 over his last 15 games and continues to rake against right-handed pitching, .326 AVG versus RHP this season. Rafael Devers has blasted 26 home runs this year and has a 1.001 OPS since the All-Star break. Masataka Yoshida and Tyler O'Neill give the Sox depth in the 4 to 6 holes with consistent contact and occasional pop. The Royals have a few power threats but lack consistent run creation outside of Bobby Witt Jr., who leads the team with 22 and 29 stolen bases while batting .289. Salvador Perez has cooled off, hitting just .232 since July 1, while MJ Melendez and Vinny Pasquantino haven't delivered much from the heart of the lineup. Kansas City ranks 23rd in MLB in runs per game at just 4.10 and struggles to string together rallies. Their bullpen has also been suspect. Over their last 15 games, the Royals relievers have a combined ERA of 5.28, ranking bottom 5 in that span. The Red Sox bullpen is in better shape, led by Kenley Jansen, 2.12 ERA, 21 saves, Chris Martin, 1.95 ERA, and Brennan Bernardino, who's allowed just 2 ERA in his last 15 outings. Boston's late-inning combo has been lights out since early July and should be trusted to hold leads if the Sox are ahead after 6 innings. With Marsh's struggles and a depleted Royals pen behind him, there's value in live betting Boston if they fall behind early, especially with their offensive firepower and bullpen stability. From a betting standpoint, Boston is listed at -135 on the moneyline, while Kansas City is +115 at home. The total is set at 9.5, which feels slightly inflated given the Red Sox bullpen advantage and Crawford's steady hand, but the Royals' pitching volatility justifies the number. Still, alternate lines offer strong value. A bet on Boston -1.5 +135 has merit considering they've covered the run line in 6 of their last 9 road wins. For total bettors, a same-game parlay combining Red Sox moneyline plus under 10.5 total runs at around +210 is a great way to build value off what should be a relatively controlled game. As for props, look for Jarren Duran over 1.5 total bases -120. He's had 2+ total bases in 10 of his last 14 games and matches up well against Marsh's 4-seam heavy repertoire. Rafael Devers to hit a home run +370 is a solid dart with wind blowing out slightly toward right and Marsh allowing 8.528 SLG to left-handed hitters. Another strong angle is Cutter Crawford over 5.5 strikeouts -105. He's hit that number in 5 of his last 7 starts and the Royals rank 26th in strikeout rate against righties over the past 30 days. Strikeout props on Alec Marsh are too volatile to trust the over, but a fade angle like under 16.5 outs recorded -115 has value. He rarely pitches into the 6th inning and has gone fewer than 6 IP in 6 of his last 8 starts. Add to that the pressure of facing a hot Red Sox lineup, and this feels like another early bullpen day for Kansas City. For parlays, consider a safer SGP at +300 built around Red Sox ML, Jarren Duran over 1.5 terabytes, Cutter Crawford 6+ Ks, and under 11.5 total runs. It's correlated, has solid legs, and hits on Boston's key player matchups while keeping margin for lower scoring on the Royals' side. Final prediction: Red Sox 6, Royals 3. Expect Boston to jump on Marsh early, add insurance runs in the middle innings, and rely on their elite bullpen to seal the deal. If you're looking to bet the side, Boston -1.5 is strong. For prop bettors, Duran total bases and Crawford Ks are your top edges. And for parlays, stack your legs around Boston's offensive edge and Marsh's short leash to maximize correlated payout potential. This is one of the cleaner spots on the board for August 4th with multiple angles for both sharp and casual bettors to attack. You just powered through 10 games of elite insight, prop gold, and sharp reads. But the work isn't done. We're not stopping until every single edge is exposed. Part 3 is coming up next. The final stretch of our August 5th slate, where we cover the closers, the late-night sweats, and the most overlooked totals that could bring you the biggest returns. We're talking about under-the-radar pitching duels, lefty masher splits, and late-game heroics that cash your SGP when everyone else is asleep. If you're serious about winning, if you're tired of surface-level takes and want elite-level baseball analysis with betting angles that actually hit, then make sure you subscribe to Beyond the Box Score right now. Smash that like button if you're riding with us. Turn on the bell so you never miss a play. This is the channel where the sharpest minds meet the smartest money. Let's finish strong. Part 3 is up next.